Hey everyone! Subscribe to the channel and comment down below saying I subscribe to enter this month's shoutout giveaway, where we shout out one lucky person every month who subscribes and comments saying I subscribed. Now, let's get on with the video. Have you guys noticed that within Roblox, like the Roblox community or Roblox the game in general, that things have started to maybe slow down a bit? Well, I have. And I really wanted to share some opinions on this. So this video is going to be 10 signs that prove the end of Roblox is coming. Number 1, low numbers. Now, every time I go onto Roblox to play a game, I always see that there are lower numbers each time I go on. Like, there are fewer people playing the game. Maybe it's just because of the time of the year that is here, which is school year, where kids are getting into, like tests and exams and homework and everything and blah, 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 blah. But I've noticed that even popular games have gone down significantly within players. So that's one thing I think that might be aiding to Roblox coming to an end, or at least it falling down in popularity. Number 2, less YouTubers. I've also started to notice that less YouTubers are playing the game. There are only maybe a couple YouTubers that I know of that are still 100% consistently playing the game. Obviously, there are the bigger ones like, Making Plays or, Poke or Hyper or Preston, all those people. They're the bigger YouTubers. They're obviously still going to keep playing Roblox and that type of game because it's their job. It's what gets them views on YouTube. But I've noticed that there really aren't as much, to my knowledge, newer YouTubers coming into the scene with Roblox content. It seems like a lot of new YouTubers are coming into the scene with a lot of other type of games, or maybe they just want to do like IRL videos, stuff like that. Number 3, a toxic community. Now, what I mean by a toxic community is just the overall just stuff that you see when you're in a game of Roblox. Like just people being rude and people being mean and, people calling other people a bacon hair because they don't have Roblox, because they're not cool enough to have a credit card or to have their parents buy things for them, or just stuff like that. I feel like the community is very toxic within that sense, and just kids being kids, basically. Like, they're kids. They're gonna be kind of rude at times. At some age, kids don't really lack the empathy to notice when they are being really nasty and really mean to other people. And that's basically what I mean by a toxic community. And the reason why I think that's going to play within Roblox's downfall is because no one likes to be around that. Like, I know a bunch of older people who play Roblox, who have fun playing Roblox, but they hate playing it because of the community and everything. Or there are a couple people who I know who just close the chat and then they go on with their day. That is another way to kind of stop this from being a thing, is you could just close the chat. There's a button, you can do it. Number 4, the chat filter. So the chat filter is another thing why I think people are going to be less inclined to play the game more often, is because the chat filter just doesn't work. There's a reason why I bring up the chat filter in so many of my videos. It's just because it's broken. It doesn't work. Like, if I would try to type something normal in the chat, it would be all hashtags. It would be blocked out because of one single phrase or word that I would say. Like it's crazy how broken it is, and I don't understand, after how many of the complaints and how much people have talked about it, that Roblox hasn't just fixed it. But I guess it's not really their top priority to have a working chat, so you never know. Number 5, oversaturation. Now, what I mean by oversaturation is basically people remaking the same game over and over and over and over and over again, and there's just so much of the same thing that it just gets really just repetitive and it gets really annoying. And I will talk about the repetitiveness a little bit later, but there's just so much oversaturation on Roblox. Like, there's so many obby games, and some of them really all have the same type of premise. They may have a different theme, but they all have the same type of premise. And there's also things like, I don't know, simulator games, and then there's also things where like escape blank, like escape the grandma, escape the toilet, escape the baby. Like, these are all actual games that are on Roblox for some unknown reason, but they're there. It's just a lot, and I don't really think a lot of people will want to scavenge through all of that just to find one thing that they really like to play. Number 6, online daters. Now, these don't really have a huge role because most of them are kind of harmless, but I feel like I would bring them up either way. Basically, online daters, because most online daters are just children acting cute and just being, just children. But sometimes, unfortunately, this is a real issue. Some adults will try to go onto the game, try to, trick kids, try to talk to them and pretend like they're a kid themselves in order to get the kid to trust them. Maybe they just want to hack into their account. Maybe other things are on their mind, but that is one really, really, really big thing about Roblox and a lot of kids' games, unfortunately, is that there are adults out there who are just nasty and mean, and they'll just try to hurt kids for no reason at all. Number 7, Robux. Basically, I think that this has a hand because, one, a lot of people really liked Builders Club. They scrapped that away and went with Roblox Premium, which I'm pretty sure has a little bit of higher prices. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure the prices are not the same as they were on Builders Club. And plus, I am pretty sure you don't get a lot of the same perks as you used to get with Builders Club. Like, they've lessened the amount just for a higher price, you know what I mean? So that's one reason why. And also, when a kid doesn't have Robux within a game because their parents can afford to buy it for them, or they can't afford to buy Roblox Premium and pay for it monthly, or just anything, like they can't afford it, or they just don't want to give their kid, money to spend online because they think it's pointless, anything, they'll just get made fun of repeatedly within the game, which also plays more into the toxic community type of thing, where kids just are mean. And if you don't have Robux within the game, kids are just going to be rude and nasty and mean to you because that is the type of mentality and that is the type of community that Roblox has unfortunately created around their game, and they've allowed that. And I don't really think the Roblox admins or the Roblox team is gonna look at a report being like, someone called me a bacon here and it made me feel sad, as like an actual thing. I think they'll think of that as, oh, it's just kids being kids, and then it won't really, nothing much will happen of it. Number 8, bullying. Now, this also plays into what I just talked about, but kids can just be so much more than just, like, calling people bacon here on the game. At a certain age, kids do lack empathy, and they don't really learn about things like empathy or guilt or stuff like that until they're at least a little bit older. And I know Roblox has a very, very young demographic. Some kids I've known have been like 4 and playing the game, like maybe even like a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, they're like brothers and they play together, stuff like that. And those types of kids, those kids at that age just really do not lack the empathy, and they really don't lack the common knowledge to see, hey, I'm hurting someone's feelings because, blah, 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 blah. They just haven't learned that yet, which is not their fault, 100%. But I feel like because there are kids and kids will be kids, that Roblox may sweep some things under the rug and not really talk a lot about these types of issues where, like, yeah, they're kids and they're gonna be kids and they're gonna be kind of mean sometimes. But that also doesn't mean that, like, other kids' feelings aren't getting hurt from this. Number 9, repetitive games. Now, earlier I talked about oversaturation within the games just within Roblox, but now I'm going to talk about the repetitive games, like just the games that people see do very, very well, but then just copy and make over and over and over and over again. And that is very unfortunate. And people just sometimes don't understand that just because a game is popular doesn't mean that you can make the same exact thing, title it the same way, and then it automatically do well. Sometimes that happens within a case, but most of the time it usually just does not work. And I've seen that happen multiple times. Like, a game on Roblox gets really popular, and then people just try to, create their own thing. Or, they may even try to, scam people and be like, hey, this is, the exact same thing, and it's super cool, but then you load up the worlds, and then it's not what it was advertised as. So that's the type of thing that I'm talking about, just the same type of obby games over and over and over and over and over again, the same type of simulator games over and over and over and over again. There's even so many copies of just Minecraft on there that is just getting repetitive, because there's people try to recreate Minecraft and Roblox for some reason. Why? I don't know. The mechanics just do not line up at all, but sometimes they do that and it just gets very, very, very repetitive. Number 10, videos becoming less popular. Now, Roblox videos, I've seen the views go down on them significantly. And that's just with some regular Roblox, YouTubers, the popular ones, the ones that are just starting to get into, just starting to gain popularity. But to some of, the new people who have been regularly uploading Roblox, I don't see a huge, spike within their views, and usually that's just due to people starting out fresh. But usually YouTube is within favor of kid-friendly content, and with the algorithm, with the way it's set up currently in its state right now, Roblox videos usually do very, very well. Even if you are a new type of channel, they will still do decently well for you, because that is just what the algorithm is set up to do. It is set up to promote kid-friendliness and stuff that, advertisers will want to put their ads on. But if you really want to look at it at a, YouTuber to YouTuber base, it really depends who you look at. Because people like Preston, Preston Mobile, people like that, they will still get, hundreds of thousands of views just because of who they are. And then there are people like Megan Plays, who, gain a decent amount of views for what their channel is at. And each video, it seems to go down just maybe a little, or they'll have little spikes in between there. But it just depends who you look at, because everybody's demographic is different. Not everybody has the same demographic, and not everybody has the same, CPM, view to view, video to video ratio for views. But there's just a lot that goes into it. It's something that I have been seeing become a trend, that Roblox videos are getting less and less popular, and people want to watch them less and less. Maybe because they're getting tired of the game, I don't know. But that'll be it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you could, please like it so I know you enjoyed it. And also make sure to comment down below and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!